injuries are direct results of improper training programs and advancing into stages way too quickly. Think about it. Would we take a baby and progress them straight from crawling to running? No, they have to go through the stable stages, the proper stages of learning how to crawl, walk, stand up, and then running. A lot of athletes, they have no prior training program. They're just going into straight heavy deadlifts and plyometrics. It seems a little crazy, doesn't it? I mean, these athletes don't have the proper form, they don't have the proper stabilization, endurance, or strength to complete these power exercises properly, but they do not know that. And some of the coaches don't know that, so they just set them basically up for failure. A lot of my high school athletes come to me after lifting, complaining about low back pain most of the time. Low back pain accounts for 30% of all musculoskeletal injuries and complaints during the athletic population. Poor trunk control or stability during these activities is one of the most common reasons of low back pain. A study that I looked at the relationship between core endurance and low back pain. Some of the athletes had prior low back pain, some of them didn't. And the athletes that had prior low back pain scored way less on the core endurance test, which is lateral and left and lateral planks and trunk extensor and trunk flexor testing, and they scored way higher on the functional test, which is a test you don't want to score high on. Why are we setting up our athletes for failure if we don't give them the basic building blocks that they need and the fundamentals for success? So after they have a base of stabilization, they can progress into the strength phase, which is divided into strength, endurance, hypertrophy, and maximal strength. And for some lifters, this will come way faster, and some it won't. For new lifters, they'll get several neurological adaptations that help improve it, like muscle recruitment, activation, and muscle strength, basically. Once an athlete incorporates hypertrophy training into their regimen, they will see strength gains and muscle mass gains, and then they could jump basically to the maximal strength testing, which is 1 rep max. I saw a study by Sheriff et al. That examined the effects of strength and power training on throwing velocity in baseball players. After a 12-week maximal strength and power training program, the experimental group saw huge increases in throwing velocity, 1 rep max bench press, developed neck, print, and pullover 1 rep max. So as we all know, most athletes want to become the strongest and fastest they possibly can in order to excel at their sports. So incorporating maximal strength and maximal power into their training programs will allow not only to become stronger in their lifts, but stronger in the skills designated to their sports. Once an athlete is comfortable and masters the strength phase of training, they should be introduced to the power phase. So power is necessary aspects of all sports, like we know. A baseball athlete with more torque and power is going to be able to throw and hit the ball way farther than an athlete with no power and no torque. So a lot of athletes just jump right into these strength and power phases because they want to get as strong and powerful as fast as they can, which ultimately causes failure again. Without the proper building blocks, they will not be able to complete these exercises, and like I've stated, muscle injuries and muscle imbalances occur from this. One of the main pros of the OPT model is ultimately setting the athlete up for success through life and through sport, but one of the main cons is it does take a little bit longer. You have to pay attention to each and every athlete, and you won't see results as fast, but those are just minuscule aspects when you look at the bigger picture. So the athletes will be overall healthier and stronger if they complete an OPT model, and the number of related injuries will go down. So I believe every athlete should incorporate an OPT model training style into their training program.